Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. John Henry Soto here with you as always. It is April 16th, 2026, and it is 7 a.m. here in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Thursday. It's going to be a nice day here. We've had a nice week so far. A little bit of clouds today, but still beautiful nonetheless. I hope you're doing well and having a good morning where you are. If you're listening to this in the evening, on the evening time, I hope you are doing well and had a great day. uh, this is the morning show, as you guys know. This is for artists, filmmakers, musicians, and creators who are navigating the real world of making art. On this show, we talk about positivity, but not the fluffy kind. We talk about what actually stops artists from moving forward, the struggles we all face, and how to move through them with clarity and purpose. We'll also highlight good things happening in the industry, share ideas, suggestions, and practical advice, and most importantly, have honest conversations. This is a live show, so if you're here now at 7 a.m., feel free to ask questions or join in. If you're at the evening show at 7 p.m., you can also ask questions and I will answer those as well. This is a place to reset, get grounded, and start the day or end your day moving forward as an artist. And good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Um, had a couple of gym days, went to the gym and went to my chiropractor, and my body's feeling it. I feel good. I feel good, but I feel like the muscles have really been activated, as you say, and so I'm a little bit chilled out this morning. So I hope that's okay with all of y'all. I should probably be more chilled out in the mornings anyway. I think people hear my voice in the morning and they probably get a little bit upset. Like, why are you so bubbly? Why are you so happy, boy? Today's show, we're going to be talking about oversharing. As you saw right there, I spoke a little bit about working out, my body, feeling good. It's always trying to be a positive to it. Oversharing is sort of like, man, I can't believe it. My girlfriend called me a stinky monkey head, and I am devastated. I don't know why she did that. She hates me. I hate her now, and that's oversharing if you're talking about stuff like that. There's a difference, but we're gonna go over it today. I'm gonna read some stuff. I'm gonna have some commentary. If you have any comments of yourselves or any questions. And then at the end, I'm going to give you 5 things you can share instead that I think are really useful that I use constantly because I have things going on in my life. And sometimes I'm like, man, I want to share this, but I hold back from sharing my personal views on or my personal life things. I talk about things that I'm passionate about, whether it's film, music, art, the world, but what's happening in the world, things like that. But not my personal story, personal life. I did do that, even with, and this doesn't go only for social media. This is also oversharing and personal conversations with people. You meet somebody and for the first time, and suddenly you're going about how your ex-husband has been, was abusive. You're like, oh, okay. So oversharing, So oversharing on social media, right? We're going to be covering social media a little bit, but this kind of you can think about it with both ways, social media or just in person, right? Oversharing on social media has become almost second nature, but that doesn't mean it's healthy. There's a difference between being authentic and putting every detail of your life on display. When every frustration, argument, or emotional moment gets posted in real time, it starts to blur the line between connection and exposure. Not everything needs an audience. And in many cases, the more you share, the less meaningful it becomes. There's also a dignity factor that often gets overlooked. Some experiences are meant to be p- uh, processed privately or shared with a small, trusted circle. When deeply personal or negative situations, especially relationship issues, are aired publicly, it can become almost as impulsive or attention seeking, even if that's not the intent. People tend to form quick judgments, and oversharing can unintentionally shape how others perceive your stability, maturity, and self control. So that's what what we're basically saying is that I know that the intention is not to maybe just seek attention or that it's impulsive or that you have a very reactive, quick thing where we know that that might not be the thing, the reason why. Maybe it is the thing, who knows? But even so, because social media has become just a normal part of life and just being on the internet is just part of life now, we tend to really make quick judgments on things like that. So when we see somebody doing that, we're like, oh, if I had a job to offer, I probably would not hire this person. You see, if I was a single man and a woman was behaving this way online, I probably would never consider getting involved. And a lot of single men probably look at that way. Goes the other way too. Women look at a guy who's like, we see some guys, younger guys now, Gen Xers and stuff, complaining about work. It's like, I can't believe they're making me work 8 hours straight. I just can't believe this. They're online doing that. Well, it's hard for a woman to go, now there's a man. That's the guy for me, man. Because there's such weakness there. So it goes both ways. And I think if you were to go live and say, or post something that says, hey, everyone, so I just want to talk a little bit about how to overcome, really bad jobs and how to deal with it, and give something positive based around that situation. I think it'll be more constructive, obviously, for your audience, but it will also make you feel better because you'll be more at cause instead of the effect of the thing. When you become the effect of the thing, that means everything affects you and you have no control over it. When you become cause over it, you can control your environment. Trust and respect are built through consistency and discernment. When someone shares everything, it can make others wonder what boundaries they actually have. If you're willing to put your most personal moments online, people may question how you handle private matters in real life. On the flip side, showing restraint signals confidence. It tells people that you're in control of your narrative, not driven by the need for constant validation or a reaction. That's what it shows. And whenever I'm kind of going through something difficult, I do have a tendency of wanting to share some things. I take a deep breath and then I'll figure out how can I use this in a positive manner. Now I have, decades of of struggling, and I have a long, long history of social media and marketing and putting stuff on the internet. At least well, definitely over 10 years, about 15 years maybe, of being on these platforms, sharing, my story. And I've had moments, I've had moments where I've shared things that maybe I shouldn't have, or I realized later. I went back and deleted it because I realized it was a little bit too much. I've never cried on camera. I don't do that. But you something happens and you want to kind of tell the world, and it's just an impulse now. Because we have these little boxes in our pockets that can connect us to so many people at once and we never thought possible. So it's like I want everybody to know my pain. It seems like there's a little bit of a power there, or a comfort of some sort. Holding some things back doesn't make you fake, it makes you grounded. You can still be real, still be open, and still connect with others without giving away the parts of your life that deserve protection. In fact, mystery, composure, and thoughtfulness often create a stronger presence than constant exposure. When you choose what to share with intention, you not only protect your peace, you also elevate how others see you. And especially if you're using this for work. I mean, if you're using this for work, if you're an artist and if you're a musician, for instance, and the music business is tough. I mean, it is dog eat dog, and most people will not be successful unless they have a real plan and real people behind them and so something, you go out and something goes wrong, your record label or your manager or your agent or whatever, gives you a hard time, or you want to go out and you want to start, venting on on some platform, do not do it. That stuff stays out there. And if one manager is having trouble with you and then you go out and you post how horrible this manager is, do you think another manager is going to look at that and be like, hey, come over to my side? No, because they're going to say any problem you get, you're going to go run off to your social media. Do not do that if you're in the arts. Do not do that. People see that. People remember. They remember. And if there's a job out there for you, and this is what you're putting out there, you are not getting that job. I guarantee it. You are not getting that job. Um, Now, what can you post? Right. Well, I'll just talk a little bit about what mine. I post this show. Right. This is my way. This oversharing came from seeing someone oversharing on a post, and I was kind of shocked because it's someone that I knew, that I know, and they were talking about they're going through a divorce, and she posted this whole video, and she may watch this, I don't know, but it's okay. I'm not mentioning any names, but I was just surprised because I know both parties, that she would put something like that out there in the public eye. And I thought, man, that seems really disrespectful to the time that you spent in that relationship, whether it was bad or whatever. You still made that commitment at some point. You're disrespecting the whole time that you were there. Instead of saying, hey, we're going through some stuff. I'm going through a divorce right now. It's not easy. But you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm grateful. Like, if you have kids, I'm grateful I have these wonderful kids, and I think there's other ways that you can go about it if you want to share a little bit of that. You know, um, but let's say you think, well, I don't know what else to share, because there are people who just like the drama, right? And what if you're in the arts, and if you are dramatic and you're an actor, that's perfect. You should be an actor because you're dramatic. You can use that. But sharing it means that it's going to lower your value to a filmmaker out there that needs somebody for a role. So instead of posting that, what can you post? Well, here are five things. Again, there's a bunch of things you can post. These are just five things I jotted down here. Personal growth wins. So number one is personal growth wins. So share small victories, like sticking to a goal or learning a new skill to inspire others without exposing your struggles in detail. So let's say you're going through a divorce and you're dealing with that pain. Something good could happen from that. The good thing about it is that I get to keep the house, or the good thing about it is that I got a new car, and now the car, I get to keep this new car, um or I have some money coming in, or there's something. If you need to share about that experience, personally, I think you should share about something successful that's going. Hey, I had a great audition yesterday and it was a lot of fun. I hope I get a call back. Um, hey, I read this great book. I'm reading this great book. I watched this great program. So anything that has to do with your art that you've experienced that's positive, it's shareable. And it's actually easily digested by anyone in the industry that's looking to hire someone. It's number one. Number dos is a creative work. Post a clip of your music, your film, or art to showcase what you're building rather than what you're going through. So you got a new film that's out. Share a clip if you can. Share a still. Talk about it. Do a video talking about your new film. You got a new song. Say, hey, I got a new song. It's out on Spotify. Check it out. Here's the link. This song is about blah 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 blah. It made me feel like this, and it's about and then there you can get a little, if you're talking about music, you can get a little bit not personal, like oversharing too much, but you can talk about why you wrote it. I wrote this song because I was in a really bad place. It was dark. I was in a dark place in a relationship, and I knew it was going to end soon. and I wrote this song. I hope you enjoy it. That's a little bit of giving people a little bit of like, ooh, this is a personal song. I want to get involved. I want to attach myself to this because there's personal, and I'm going through something. It's right. People always attach themselves to the art. That's what art does, right? That's number two. Number three, gratitude moments. Share something you're thankful for, like a good day or meaningful conversations to spread positivity. I do that all the time. Sometimes I'll have a conversation with someone that I just met, and it's such a great conversation that I have to let people know. Say, hey, I met this dude the other day, and we had a great conversation about guitars, and we talked for about 45 minutes, just hanging outside of a supermarket of a Kroger, and I'll talk about that because that will give me some fodder not only in my art but also in humanity and human connection. So, gratitude moments, and I'm always grateful whenever I have a great conversation with somebody because I love people. It's like people frustrate me and I love people, right? So that there's a lot of material in there, and you can share about how much gratitude you have for having those experiences and those conversations. Number four, helpful insights. Offer a lesson you've learned without diving into the messy backstory, keeping it valuable and respectful. So, let's say again you're a singer and you had a bad mad manager. Well, don't go into what he did and how you feel and how to say. One of the important things that I've learned about when you hire a manager, just remember that you're hiring them, right? They're not hiring you. You're hiring them. They get a percentage every time you make money. If you're paying your manager or agent, then you're being scammed anyway. But just remember that. That's another story for another day. But if you have a manager and you had a rough time, you can go two ways. You can go say, I can't believe this guy. He did this to me, he did that to me, and da 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 da. That will create a whole other energy out there. But if you go out and you say, you know, lesson learned here, had a manager, and it's very important that you research your manager's backstory, you research their other clients, you ask questions, you get everything in writing, because I'm going through a little bit of something right now and I want to share something so you don't make the same mistake, and then you put a little list together. Don't just sign without going to a lawyer first. uh, don't sign without researching this person's social media and online presence. Do they have any online presence? There's things you can apply. So those are helpful for an audience, And one of the things that a manager will see that and say, here's somebody who had a bad manager, but is not taking the low road, is taking the high road and trying to help someone else so they don't make the mistake. You see, this may trigger me or another manager, any kind of managers with talent agencies may trigger them to be like, maybe I'm going to reach out to this person and just have a meeting with them because they seem like they just got the short end of a stick and a raw deal and have been screwed, and they could probably do really well with a good manager, and that way you can attract instead of repel. Number five, and the last one, encouragement to others, which kind of is a little bit of like helpful insights, but not really. I mean, you can post a short message uplifting people, like reminding them to stay focused or keep going without making it personal drama. So it doesn't have to be a situation that happened to you. It could just be something you just want to say. You just want to communicate about how important it is to keep going and stay positive. And I do that here on this show, right? Sometimes I have a positive show. Sometimes I have a show about a specific thing, and sometimes it's just an overall, keep going kind of an attitude, right? So it's important to have these a list of things that you can post, especially when things are not going well. Because when things are going well, you got a million things you can post. But when things are not going well and something happens, oversharing that can really damage your reputation, your image, and maybe you don't care, and that's fine. If, I'm talking to artists. This is a film. I mean, this is a show about filmmakers, musicians, artists, and people that are in the business, navigating the real world of making art. Right? That's what this is. So if you're in that business, if you're not and you don't care, say, I'll say whatever I want because I don't care what people say. Shoot. You kidding me? I don't care what they think about me. I don't know why they're from the South. Because I got friends in New York City that be like, "Psst, man, yo, I don't care, bro. I don't care what they say, bro, brah." So, but if you are in the arts, you should care. You definitely should because people are watching. That's what we do. That's why you posted it so people can watch it. And what kind of message are you giving out there? That's the key thing. Especially as an artist, you want to give a nice, clean, workable message where people can look at and say, hey, you know what? I like this character. I want to bring them into my project. And that's what you need to kind of be confident about and post those kinds of things. All right, friends. I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I will see you all tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Friday already. I mean, this week has been like a blur. I did a lot this week. This was a busy, busy, busy week. But man, what a blur it was for me. It's Friday already. So have a wonderful Thursday evening, a wonderful Thursday day. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. See you tomorrow morning. And as always, peace.